Hello and welcome to your 5 Essentials Equipping class. My name is Dr. Kaylee Judge and I'm here with Judge Family Chiropractic. You're watching this because you are ready to change your lifestyle. We teach the 5 essentials here, which I'll go over in just a moment. But these 5 things are essential to your healing, to your health, and to your well-being. The reason why we want you to watch this class is because there's so much information out there, and you could go on to Google and search how to be healthy and thousands of things will pop up, and it takes so much time and effort to actually navigate through those things. We want to make it so simple and so easy for you to implement these things into your lifestyle that's what they become, your lifestyle. And with the 5 essentials, this is going to be what changes your life. Whether you're the person who has extreme fitness and extreme health, and you're not looking for much more than just be able to live healthy, this is the place for you. Or maybe you're the person who's had dozens of diagnoses, has a bag full of medication, and is just looking for the answer to reduce those things, to reverse disease, and allow yourself to be living a max living lifestyle. Here at Judge Family Chiropractic, we have a purpose with all other max living offices to become the standard for natural health care, where everyone is empowered to live to their full potential. Today, at the end of the day, I want you to become empowered to live to your full potential. And that may be different things for different people. Let's go over the 5 essentials and what that looks like for us. First of all, we have core chiropractic, which we are going to go into detail. If you're watching this, you've already most likely been going through your chiropractic adjustments, through your chiropractic visits, doing your home care exercises, getting to know the staff in our office, and learning what it takes to get your spine back to a normal position. We also talk about nutrition. And I believe that this is one of the biggest, most fundamental things that people lose sight of. It's the scariest thing of the 5 essentials, because there's so much addiction involved with food. There's so much cravings and so many emotions and hormones that sometimes you don't even know that you're not eating the right thing. Especially with all of the information that's out there, we want to give you the tools that you need to go out and change your life. With that, we've got to talk about your mindset. Because if I don't change your mindset and help you understand that you are a victor and not a victim, that you have the power to change your mind, to change your thought about what health is, to have the ability to heal, that you are created for more, then none of this is worth even talking about. And so I want to get into the space between your 2 ears and help you to realize that you were made for more and that your body can heal. We also want to talk about exercise, which I think is the biggest thing that most people just don't like. We want to make it so super simple. In fact, just 12 minutes a day would get you to a healthy lifestyle in no time. The next thing is minimizing toxins. The reason why this is so huge is because we are just bombarded with toxins every single day of our lives. From the moment that we wake up to the moment that we go back to sleep, and in fact, most often while we're sleeping. We have toxins all around us, inside our house and outside of our house. And so we've got to learn to get to the source, and we've got to learn what it takes to get those toxins outside of us. Now you might be wondering, Dr. Kaylee, why are you so passionate about these 5 essentials? The reason being is because, for me as a child growing up, I was active. I was involved in all sorts of different sports. I played softball in college. I didn't even really know how to work out until I got into chiropractic school, because I was so heavily involved in sports that I never really needed to go and work out. And so my life has been pretty healthy. I've learned a lot of different things when it comes to nutrition and exercise and detoxification and even chiropractic. For myself and my brother, we grew up being adjusted since the day that we were born. We didn't have toxins enter our systems from the moment that we were at the hospital. Our parents knew of a principle of healing and of health, and that's what's gotten us so far. So I'm passionate about people understanding that. But you might be like someone like my mom, who at right now at this recording, she's 64 years old. And for years, she damaged her body, putting the wrong types of food in. Nobody really taught her what exercise was or how to do it properly. She understood that the body had an innate wisdom inside of it that it could heal. And got involved with chiropractic through my dad's side of the family and helped us to understand the power that made the body heals the body. But for her, there was just years, decades of toxins being loaded up into her system and didn't know where to go but come out of her skin. And so about 10 years ago, she started to experience these incredible rashes all over her face, on her neck, in her skin, underneath her armpits, as you can see in the picture shown right here. My mom was fatigued, she had digestive issues, she had the inability to concentrate, she had fogginess, she had all sorts of things going on and didn't know where to turn or what to do. She turned to myself and my brother, and to be honest, I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I had never seen a patient present like this before. And so I sent her into what I call the gauntlet, to the medical system, to the urgent care right down the street here, to get blood work, to see exactly what was going on, to try to get some answers before we started to just revel in some things. You see, for about 7 years, she had been living this max living lifestyle almost 100%. But it was the years previously that built up over time that her body started to reject things and build responses towards it. And so we had to actually go in and see what was going on. And when she did go to that urgent care, she ended up spending $5,000 on blood work, different things that they tested her with. And unfortunately, all of those things came back completely normal. And as you can see in the pictures, she wasn't normal. And this wasn't just a one-day thing. This was months upon months of us trying to change the things that she was eating, making sure she was getting adjusted properly, making sure that she was exercising. But we just couldn't find an answer. Through different Max Living colleagues, we found this program called Max Metabolics, and I'll go deeper into that towards the end. But it was specific nutritional testing that got us to see exactly what was going on with my mom, whether she was deficient in certain types of vitamins, if her gut was out of whack, which it was completely off the charts, how much toxin was in her system just floating around, and what we needed to do to get rid of that. And so for my mom, that testing gave us an idea of how to prioritize her living. We learned that there was a certain system that we had to go ahead and put into place for her to begin her healing journey. And if you know my mom, she is the type of person that doesn't complain, and she doesn't even know what's coming at her. And so she just pushed through and pushed through and pushed through. And then suddenly we ended up finding this answer, which I'll go through at the end with you. And she got her life back. I got my mom back. And we've been able to have amazing adventures throughout that time. You might be wondering, so how do I prioritize these 5 essentials? Where do I start? I want to start exercising properly. I want to start eating right. I've had conversations after conversations with friends and family and patients, and they're always just asking, what do I do first? What site's the best site? What type of nutrition should I be eating? And we want to really teach you how to prioritize this max living, these 5 essentials. And the thing is that they are called 5 essentials for a reason, because every single one of those matter. You can't just be an amazing nutritionist and forget the other 4. You can't just be this super fit, athletic human being and forget how to eat well and make sure that your nervous system is cleared out and healing. So all 5 of these essentials go hand in hand together, and when you put all of them into practice, your life is amazing. So where do we go first? The reason why you're here and you're watching this is because you're about to sit down with either myself or Dr. James or one of our team members to go through a consultation about your 5 essentials. Where are you right now in life, and where can we help you get to the next level? And so you're about to embark on that consultation with us. When you come to that, come with a notebook, come ready to take notes, come ready for answers. In fact, while you're watching this video, you might want to take some notes throughout time as well. Make sure that you have jotted down your 7-day food diary, your food log, so that we can see exactly where you are on a day-to-day basis. Be as honest as you possibly can be with this. Please don't lie to yourself and don't lie to us. We're not trying to shame you. We're not going to make fun of you. We just want to help you create the best version of you that there is. If you have gotten and received the Quick Start Guide and the recipe books, I want you to pay attention to the pages that talk about the advanced plan. There's 2 pages in there that's going to go over the advanced plan and the 3 things to cut out. I'll be going over those today with us as well. But pay close attention to those things. First off, we want to talk about core chiropractic. The reason why we want to talk about core chiropractic first is because we know that, first of all, God put the most amazing healing power in your brain. It's there every single second of every single day. It uses your brainstem, your spinal cord, and your nerve roots to communicate to every single organ, cell, and tissue in your entire body. So in fact, for your body to be able to breathe, for your heart to be able to beat, this system has to send a message from your brain down your spinal cord, out the nerves to every single organ, cell, and tissue in your whole body. How incredible is that God gave us that design to make sure that we knew that we were a self-healing and self-regulating organism. He didn't forget to add anything. He didn't put too much of something in there. The exact amount of everything that you need is inside of your body. The problem is that we are living certain lifestyles that are triggering different responses, not allowing your body to heal the way that God intended. And so we want to make sure that when you come into our office, first off, we're going to check your spine to see if there is any subluxation in your spine. Subluxation is when the bones shift outside of your normal position. It puts pressure on your nervous system. It starts to shut down the life from your brain that goes to those organs, those cells, and those tissues. And so if there's any pressure on your nervous system, let's say, for instance, going to the stomach, it doesn't matter how much supplements I give you. It doesn't matter how many different nutritional guides that I give you and what type of diet I put you on. If your body can't absorb the nutrients that you're putting in there, then it really doesn't matter. And so we really want to make sure that your body is functioning and healing. Write that down. Functioning and healing. When we think about the word health, we want to think about those first 4 letters. Heal. We want to help your body heal and function at 100%. There's all kinds of different systems. In fact, every single system in your body is affected by your spinal cord and your nervous system. If you just look at this chart right here, you can kind of follow through and see exactly in different areas where things go to in your body. That's why it's so vitally important that you become obsessed with making sure that your spine is in its proper position. And so how do you do that at home? Well, at home, you would have gotten a Max Living home care kit with specific instructions designed to help your spine get back into the position it's supposed to be in. The position that does not have any damage or pressure on your nervous system. The position that helps your body not create degeneration or arthritis into your spine. The position that allows your brain to communicate to your organs, your cells, and your tissues. We have a different system here in our office, and you've probably noticed that if you're a patient here in our office. What you've seen is what we call the mix, fix, and set. First of all, when you walk in this office, you are doing the wobble cushion and the traction before you even get adjusted. The reason why you're doing that is because you're warming up the muscles and the ligaments and the tendons and the tissues in the spine. When you think of that wobble cushion, I want you to think of that as the disc. That disc, as you're moving from side to side, as you're moving from front to back, as you're twisting and turning, what that's doing is it's getting the bad fluid to go out and the good fluid to come back in. It's rehydrating your discs. It's helping to prevent degeneration. And that's an amazing thing to do because if you know anything about degenerative disc disease, it is known as an old person's disease. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you have been able to learn how to properly maintain your spine, your body's going to be and so happy for you at the end of the day. And so we want you to be obsessed with this stuff, not just here in our office, but at home as well. These things should be done twice a day, every single day, to help your body heal and function at 100%. The second part is called fix. When Dr. James or I adjust your spine, we're actually putting a bone into the proper position. We're setting it into the position. We're fixing it as we're doing the adjustment. It's not the noise, it's not the pop, it's not the sound that matters. It's the actual motion and movement of those bones getting back into their proper alignment, allowing your body to function and heal. And then afterwards, you'll set it. And so at our office, what that looks like is standing on the vibration plate with head weights on or the CTU pole. Maybe you haven't been able to go on the vibration plate, but you will have specific exercises to do here in the office. Some of you are just able to stand on the black mat. the reason why we want you to stand on either the black mat or onto the vibration plate is because there's little tiny muscles in between your spine. They're called proprioceptors. And getting those active is going to actually help to set the spine into that position that we're looking to get it in even faster. When you're at home, if you don't have a black mat and you don't have a vibration plate, you can simply just walk in place while you're doing your head weights and doing that traction pull. That way you can get the motion in there. It's going to be about the same effect that you have while you're doing the vibe plate or the black mats here in our office. If you have any questions while you're at home is, hey, I forgot how to do this movement, or this isn't something that I do in our office, there's a website on our page at drjudge.maxliving.com. drjudge.maxliving.com. On there, it has a section for home care, and there's videos that you can watch. We have those in Spanish and in English. If you have any questions or if you get confused at any time, those are right on your phone, right on your computer. You can go in and look at those. Now, if you see somebody else in our office that's doing something different from what you do, either they're doing it wrong or they've been given specific instructions to do it differently. So if you have any questions, you can ask our front office or one of the doctors or one of the team members, and we will help you through and answer any questions in case you get confused. Again, we want to talk about nutrition. What I think is one of the biggest buttons that people just get lost with. It's so difficult to maintain proper nutrition. And really there's a lot of questions on what's the right thing to be eating, what's the wrong thing to be eating, how do I know what's right, and how do I know what's wrong? Two simple facts is that we want to have food by God instead of food by man. And really simply, what does that mean? It means things that come from the ground. It means things that are fed. It means things that are on this list that I'm going to show you here. Things that are pure, things that are clean, things that are organic and local, things that are naturally raised, things that are from the garden, things that are from the farm fields. Not things that are made in processed plants, not things that are made from chemicals. One of my biggest things is if you look on the ingredients on the box and it's something that you can't read, my thing is if I can't read it, I don't eat it. And so I put it back on the shelf. I want to make sure that I'm understanding what nutrients and what ingredients are actually going into my body. And so that's why it's important to understand this. And so if you have your phone, take a picture of this slide that's up right now so that you can save this and kind of go back and reference it as we go. It's also going to be in your quick start guide, something that you can reference as we go. There's a few things that we need to change. First off, we want you to change the type of meat that you're eating. Meat and dairy are huge because it's not the meat that's the problem, it's the type of meat that you're getting. And so we want you to have organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised meat. Also, if you're eating fish, we want it to be wild-caught. The reason why is because if it is a conventionally raised protein, it's got really high omega-6s. Omega-6s aren't necessarily a bad thing, but when you have too many omega-6s, it increases inflammation in your body. Inflammation, I believe, is the root cause of all disease. There's not one disease out there that you can't equate inflammation to. So it may be the precursor and the start to it, which is why it's also important to get testing, because we can see what the precursors are. Just like with my mom, we got to see that she had inflammation in different areas of her cell system. And so we got to actually see what was going on and fix that internally. We want you to also start understanding what the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 are. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. And then it's imperative that we add the right type of supplements into our bodies. Not just any supplements from any conventional store out there, because most of the time those have synthetic ingredients that you don't want to be putting into your body. And when you do put those into your body, it starts to increase inflammation and increase toxicity in your body. So when it comes to changing the type of animal proteins that you're eating, again, we want grass-fed beef, free-range chicken, wild-caught fish, and a natural source of dairy. If you're local in the St. Charles, Fox Valley area, I like the place called All Grass Farms. It's right out on Route 31 in West Dundee. There's a tiny little farm store that you can go to, and they make all grass-fed meats, beef, pork, dairy, all kinds of things that they have there. It's an incredible little cute spot. If you have kids, I recommend that you bring them with you to go and check out this farm, because it's something like you've never seen before. When we talk about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, we really want you to be focused on Clean 15. This is where, if you have a budget and you can't buy everything organic all the time, we want you to make sure that at least you're buying these 12 Dirty Dozens as organic, because these are the ones that are most heavily sprayed with pesticides and herbicides, and they're most heavily sprayed with toxins. And so these Dirty Dozen, the toxins actually get through the skin into the fruit or vegetable, and so you want to stay away from that. This list changes every single year, so make sure that you type in Google. You can take a picture of this. It's pretty close to the same, but you can type in Dirty Dozen Clean 15 2022, and it should pop up for you, and you'll be able to find it. You can also go to ewg.org, and you'll be able to find those answers there. Now, when we talk about vitamins, the number one priority is to get a good multivitamin. I'm not talking about the Flintstone multivitamins. I'm not talking about GNC or Centrum Silver or all the other ones that are out there. I'm talking about ones that are made from a whole food source. And that's why that's the difference between our brand with Max Living and then other brands that are out in the conventional stores. We actually test our foods, our supplements. We make sure that they're from a whole food source. We make sure that it's all organic ingredients. We make sure that there's no fillers. There's no synthetic fillers inside of those. And so these are supplements that are not going to create inflammation. In fact, it's going to reduce inflammation in your body, and it's going to give your cells the proper nutrients that it needs to heal and function at 100%. Yes, there are different women's versus men's multi. The reason why is because we have different biology and we require different things in our bodies. Men need different things for their prostate health, for example, while women need more things for their reproductive cycles and health in that way. So there's different supplements within those as it goes, as well as with the Max Kids multivitamin. That's a place where we want to help you grow in those areas. I like to have these Max Essentials, these daily essential vitamins. This has the multivitamin. It has the vitamin D3 that I'm going to talk about in just a moment. It also has the omega. It also has magnesium in there, which is the #1 nutrient that we are deficient in our bodies. And it has a B complex in there, which for women specifically, we're most commonly deficient in B vitamins. Again, that's why the testing that we do is so vital, because it allows us to see exactly which vitamins you are deficient in. The next vitamin that is so incredibly important, specifically for those of us that live in the Midwest, which should be most of you watching this video, is vitamin D. We want to make sure that we're taking vitamin D3. Our product has probiotic attached with it. I think of this as like an excavator going into a land, and it like makes way for the foundation to be able to be put down. That probiotic goes into your gut, and it actually like makes a way for the vitamin D3 to be absorbed into your gut lining. Because it's not necessarily about what type of vitamins you're taking. It's about how well your body is absorbing those vitamins. And so if your gut is not good, it's out of alignment, it's called dysbiosis. If your flora is out of whack, that probiotic is actually going to make a way for the vitamin D3 to actually get attached to you. Our vitamin D3 has 5,000 IUs. The reason why this is important is because, you know, when they did testing back in the day, the recommended daily allowance is actually just 400 IUs, and that simply just won't cut it. That's going to help you not get rickets, but that's just simply not a problem these days. In fact, we have to times that about a little over by 10 to get to about 4,000 to 5,000 IUs, and for some people even more than that. If we want to be fighting things like cancer or heart disease or diabetes, allowing our body to absorb this stuff, you need about 5,000 IUs on a daily basis for maintenance. But if you're fighting a disease of any sort, it's going to be a higher level than that. You can actually get your vitamin D levels tested and see exactly where they are and if we need to up that in any way. That's a super simple thing, but it should be for everybody. You know, for us in the Midwest, it takes months, and I mean like the majority of the year, for the sun to come out. And even when the sun is out, the majority of Illinoisans don't really spend too much time outside. It's a sad thing, but it is a reality. We have working jobs inside. Most people just, when they get home, they're tired, they go to bed. They don't spend any time outside, even during their lunchtime. And so they're not getting that natural source of vitamin D. And so that's another reason why it's so important for us to be getting the proper sources of vitamin D3. Another thing is optimal omega. This might be one of my favorite supplements because I know for this, a couple things. It's going to help with your joint health. It's going to help your body stay lubricated, which is extremely important when we talk about your spine. But it's important for your body to function and heal as well. And so the optimal omega is something that, if you didn't know this, your cells have what we call is a double lipid bilayer. That means it's 2 layers of fat. And so those fat layers, toxins like to go in there and get super cozy and comfy. And it's really hard to get those toxins out. I think about like an arrow. When it goes into something, it's really difficult to get it out of it. Once it goes in there, it wants to make a home. And so optimal omega is actually going to go into that double lipid bilayer and open that up to allow you to start releasing those toxins to get them out of your cell, which is going to be important when I start talking about the detox system in just a moment. There's a mythological creature called fat, and we are told as we're growing up that fat makes you fat, and that's just not a reality. That's something that we just know is not a truth. We know that fat actually helps you burn fat, and that your cells require fat, your brain requires fat. You can actually become a fat burner instead of a sugar burner, dependent upon the diet that you're eating. Now, are there bad types of fat? Absolutely. Those fats make you fat, sick, and nearly dead. It's the bad seed oils like cottonseed, vegetable oil, canola oil, margarine. Those are all bad fat examples. And most of the things that we're eating and consuming are made with bad fats. And so you want to just make sure that you're not consuming these things with bad fats, because it's actually going to affect your cholesterol. And cholesterol, again, isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just a matter of, does your body know what to do with it? We know that HDL is the good cholesterol and LDL is the bad cholesterol, but really there's not one that's bad and one that's worse. It's just if you have more of one, it creates, the LDL actually creates like a sludge in your arteries, so it doesn't allow the blood to flow like it should, where the LDL or the HDL goes in and helps to wipe it out and clean it up. And so you want to have really good healthy fats to help go into your arteries and clean that stuff out. Another thing is protein. The type of protein that you're eating is important. We have several different varieties of protein and flavors. We have a whey protein in either chocolate or vanilla. This is something that I would recommend to anybody. It is a great source of protein. Our protein comes from grass-fed cows, pasture-raised, and there's no hormones, no antibiotics, nothing given to these cows that we use. And so it's a great natural source. We also have bone broth protein, or what's called Pure Path. That's going to be not necessarily obviously whey, but it is going to help with collagen buildup. It's going to help with your gut healing. It's going to help with skin, hair, nails, things like that. And then we have plant-based protein for people that are more towards the vegan, vegetarian, plant-based lifestyle, or they just don't do well with dairy or animal products and they want a good source of protein. This has an amazing source. Another thing that is my favorite is our greens. We use a company called Greens First. If you change nothing else, you should change your breakfast. And it's so super simple. You can just do 1 scoop of protein with 1 scoop of greens, a handful of frozen blueberries, and about 2 cups of cashew milk. Blend that up, drink it down, and you will be satisfied until you're ready for lunch. This way you're not eating a lot of grains, you're not eating a lot of fried eggs or cereals or things like that. So we want to start moving away from that. Which brings me to explaining to you what the advanced plan is. In our office, we teach two different types of plans. We teach the advanced plan and we teach the core plan. The core plan is what I call the minimum standard of engagement. This is the thing that you just live by. The advanced plan is where if you want to get off of medications, if you want to start reversing diseases, if you want to lose weight, if you want to have a total health transformation and live that way for the rest of your life, the advanced plan is the way to go. So what does that mean? It means no grains. It means, yes, being gluten-free. However, it's more than just being gluten-free. It means absolutely no grains. And so when you get into that mode, they're just not allowed. So that includes pasta, rices, breads, all the grains that you can think of and toss my way. But can I have this? But can I have this? No grains. Simple, simple, simple. Just cut them out. You want to eat a lot of good, healthy fats. So raw nuts and seeds, avocados. You can use olive oil on top of your food. I wouldn't cook with olive oil because it has a low heat tolerance. I usually cook with either avocado oil or coconut oil and just put olive oil over my food. It's still a great source of omega-3s, but it just has a low heat tolerance, and so your food turns rancid very quickly. Again, we want to stay away from the damaged fats. We want naturally raised protein, just like we talked about before, and only low sugar fruits and berries. And so Granny Smith apples, grapefruit, and blueberries are where we try and stick with. How do you know that you should be on the advanced plan? So when I think about this, it's you know, any diagnosis that you have that's probably not even on this list, some of you, but PMS issues, fibromyalgia, cholesterol issues, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, ADD, ADHD, mental issues, behavioral issues, things like that, anything that you can come up with, even as far as cancer. When we start to apply the principles of the advanced plan, things start to change. It's simple, and there's just 3 basic changes that we've pretty much talked about. You've got to eliminate sugar, you've got to change the type of meat that you're eating, and you've got to change your fats. So it's just 3 simple changes. But people struggle with these, especially most of you listening to this are probably thinking, but how am I supposed to give up my sugar and my carbs? You gotta want it more than you want that. What I mean by that is that you've gotta want health more than you want the treat. My mentor used to say, nothing tastes as good as being healthy feels. And I want you to live by those standards. Nothing tastes as good as being healthy feels. And so if you are struggling in your health, it's time for you to get tested to see what's going on, and it's time for you to change your lifestyle when it comes to your nutrition and what you're putting into your body. We want you to be a fat burner instead of a sugar burner. And sugar burners mean that you are feeding your car, your system, your body with sugars, and that's what it's running on. That's the energy that it's using. Instead of using fat, which lasts actually longer, you'll actually burn fat in your sleep versus not burning it at all when you're sleeping, when you're a sugar burner, and actually probably not even really getting a good night's sleep. The fat in your body is its preferred source. Now, I'm not talking about doing a keto diet. I'm not talking about doing anything like that. I'm talking about good whole foods going into your body. Yes, there's going to be good fats, but it's not a fat-focused diet. It is a health food-focused diet. That means organic, that means whole foods, that means fruits and vegetables, that means quality meats, and that's it. And your body will heal, your energy will skyrocket, and your mental processing will just be on fire. I'm so excited for you to experience what it takes, or what it's like to be on the advanced plan. Sugar. Listen, there are 18 times the receptor sites on tumor cells for sugar than any other substance on the planet. Sugar affects the same receptors in your brain that cocaine does. And so while you're coming off of sugar, removing it from your diet, you're going to probably have some sort of withdrawals. You're going to have the night sweats. You're going to have the angers. You're going to have the jitters. You're going to have the anxiousness. You're going to have all the things that you would as if you were coming off a major drug. But the reality is just push through it. I just need like 4 to 7 days of kind of going through a little bit of heck. Until you get to the other side and there's light there, and it's just, you're not addicted to sugar anymore, and you can get through the days without it. I truly believe that in order to do all those things I just talked about, you've got to change your mindset. I believe that the decisions that you make right now are going to be directly reflected in your health 15 to 20 years from now. And so people ask me all the time, Dr. Kaylee, why do you continue to live the way that you do? Why are you so healthy? How do you stay so fit? All these things. And it's, to be honest with you, it's not easy for me every single day either. There's some days where I don't want to work out. I don't want to eat the healthy food. I don't want to do my chiropractic home care exercise. I don't want to do the things I know I should be doing. But I do them anyway because I think of the version of me when I'm 60 years old and what I want that to look like. I want to be a person who doesn't ever have to take a medication in their life. At the recording right now, I'm 36 years old. I've never had to take a medication, not even pain pills, not even Tylenol, nothing. And that's because I've learned over time how to put these 5 essentials into my life and build health instead of building disease. And that all comes from my mindset. For me, it starts really probably when I go to sleep, but it starts with my morning routine. I wake up in the morning and I get in the Word and I journal and I write and I set myself up for what the day is going to look like. I go on a walk with my dog every single morning to clear my head, to become, I guess, one with nature, and to just have that space of being able to breathe in fresh air and take a pause for 45 minutes. That's a huge part for my day. And I also have affirmations that I write out. I have goals. I have things that I'm dreaming that I'm going after. Things that I never ever thought that I would achieve are getting checked off of that list. And it's amazing once you start to change your mentality. For me, I do a lot of triathlon sports. And I started this about 9 years ago now, and the first one I did was a sprint distance. And so if you don't know anything about triathlon, it's a swim, a bike, and a run all at once, kind of like do one after the other. And the distances go up. So there's the sprint distance, which would be the shortest, and then there's the Olympic distance, and then there's the half Ironman and the Ironman. The first year that I signed up for this, I signed up for the sprint distance and the Olympic distance, and for both of those races, I was so much a nervous wreck. I didn't understand how I would be able to finish those races. And even to put the thought process of finishing an Ironman ever in my life was like never going to happen. I started to change my mind. I started to pluck away at some big things that I knew that needed to be done in order to achieve that dream. And last year, I got to finish a full Ironman for the first time in my life. It was the hardest yet the most exciting thing I've ever done in my entire life. And so whatever that little tiny dream is, whatever that thing that scares you is, even if it is becoming the most healthy version of yourself, I know that you can achieve it and I know that you can do it. You just have to put your mind to it and start to change your thought processes. You've got to start seeing a mindset towards success. And so part of that is shutting off all the failures. That means shutting off the news. That means shutting off the TV. That means turning off your social media. That means getting some of the people out of your life that are telling you that you're not going to make it, that you're always going to be sick, that you're always going to be fat, that you're always going to be XYZ. Shut them out of your life so that you can go and experience the life that you were meant to live. Again, war planning. I like to change this to what's called peace planning. We are teaching our team this right now. It's a huge part of my life. My calendar is scheduled out from the moment that I wake up to the moment that I go to bed. Some days have more free time in them than other days, but I have to see what I'm doing each day. Otherwise, I get scatterbrained and overwhelmed and stressed out. And if I don't have those things in place, I'm just all over the place. Again, morning routine is huge. We call it the spiritual triathlon, actually. And so what you do is you wake up in the morning and you read for 5 minutes. For me, I read the Bible. You can read whatever it is that's inspiring for you. But I read the Bible. I journal for 5 minutes, and then actually for me now it's a little bit longer than the 5 minutes, but for you, I just want you to do this, 5 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of journaling, and then 5 minutes of either meditation or prayer or both of those. Start with that for your morning routine. Just wake up 15 minutes early and watch this whole thing change. If you are a part of a family, if you've got kids and a spouse, sit down with them on Sundays and plan out your week so that everybody knows where everybody's going to be, and you can respect each other's boundaries and have an idea of what's supposed to happen for the week. You've got to start thinking positively, and I really believe that turning the news off is going to help you with this, because everything in our world right now is set to be negative. No matter where you turn, no matter what you do, everything is negative. And so you've got to start feeding your mind with positivity. And if it's for you, if you have this negative thought of I'm always going to be this way, I want you to write that thing out, cross it out, and then rewrite the sentence of I am worthy, I am worth it, I can be healthy, I can achieve this goal, I can do this thing, and really start to believe it and read it every single day. You have to have a new hope. You have to believe that it can happen. You've got to get rid of stress in your life. And I really truly believe that once you start putting in that peace plan, that's going to start eliminating stress for you. And sleep is a priority. I track my sleep on a daily basis, and so I know when I'm supposed to be going to bed and when I'm supposed to be getting up in order for me to get the proper amount of REM sleep and deep sleep, and for my body battery to recharge. I have a wearable device on my finger that actually tracks my sleep for me and how my body is recovering. And so I know that if I stay up a little bit later on a weekend, I'm going to have to pay for it for the days to come. If my workout plan is a little bit harder than normal, I'm going to have to pay for it for the days to come. And so that's why it's extremely important, yes, to get sleep, but also to put the proper nutrients into your body, to drink water, to start flushing the system out, and then also to get exercise. And exercise is so important for you. We talked about this before, is that we've got to put good oxygen into our system to oxygenate our cells and get our body flowing, get the toxins out. You know that your skin is your largest organ, and having sweat come out of your skin is the best thing for you, because it's actually going to be getting rid of toxins while you're doing an exercise. What we have is a program called Max T3, which is a high intensity interval program. And the reason why this is so important, believe me, when I do an Ironman, it takes really long cardio days, but a lot of those long cardio days are mixed in with high intensity interval training while I'm doing the longer sessions as well. And so I'll push hard for 10 minutes and then I'll slow down, and I'll push hard for 10 minutes and then I'll slow down on my long days. But for you guys, we want to teach you the Max T3 program. This is about a 12-minute a day workout. You can go straight to maxt3.com, enter your code, enter the code on the bookmark that you've gotten. If you haven't gotten one of those, talk to our team, and we will get you hooked up with that and how to do that. But it's time, tempo, and type, and it's changing the what you're doing, how fast you're doing it, and the type of exercises that you're doing. And so you can literally do this 12 minutes a day. I recommend 5 to 6 days a week. Give yourself one rest day, and you're going to see massive changes. You don't have to have some fancy gym membership. You don't have to go and do anything outrageous like an Ironman. You can work out at home 12 minutes a day and see incredible results. The next thing that we need to talk about is getting rid of toxins. We talked about sweating the toxins out of your system, but we also have to know, like, how many toxins are we putting into our mouth, into our body, in our digestive system, and how many toxins are we putting onto our skin, and also, like, what are we breathing in? And so we have to get to the source. And so when we talk about where toxins come from, it's coming from the food that you're eating. There's synthetic chemicals in all of your food. I promise you, if I came to your house, I would see all sorts of chemicals in the food that you're eating. There's chemicals in your water. There's chemicals in the environment around you. There's chemicals in the makeup that you're putting on your face, in your shampoos and your conditioners. There's chemicals in the cleaners that you're having in your house. And there's chemicals in the containers that you're using to store your food in. And so everywhere around you there are chemicals. And we can talk about detox systems and cleanses and all kinds of different things. But if we don't stop the toxins at the source, we're just going to keep cycling those toxins through our body, in and out, in and out, in and out. And it's an endless cycle, over time. Again, stop the toxins at the source. Once we start to reduce those toxins that are going in, you're going to have a better response for these toxicity systems that we talk about. We have two main systems that we use in our office. We have the detox system, which is a much more intense system. This is something that you would do for about 4 months' time. I recommend 4 months because there is a life cycle of the cell of 120 days. And so the idea behind this is to get the toxins out of your system. That means that you have to start changing the environment around you, what you're putting on your skin and in your body, but also what you're eating and what's happening, Glade plug-ins and perfumes and things like that. Those are all toxins. And so we have to start eliminating those things. The detox system is a two-part system. The first part is something that you take in the morning. It has glutathione, which is the #1 ingredient in there. That I think of like Pac-Man going around your body and collecting the cells and putting them in a nice little corner for when you take the second pill, which is the activated charcoal. And that's like the big red scientific magnet that we have that goes and collects all the toxins, and then you expel it in the morning. That would be something that you take for about 120 days in conjunction with the optimal omega. And the reason why the optimal omega is important to be doing this with that is because that's the thing that, again, I talked about this earlier, but it's opening the cell up for the toxins to be released and for your body to get rid of those toxins inside of those cells. The max cleanse is something that we kind of talk as like a prepper. It's something that preps your body to go through this major detox system. It's going to start getting your toxicity system, your liver phases, your kidneys, your lymph system prepared for a major detoxification. But the max cleansing, even after you do the detox system and also before, that's something that you want to take on a daily basis because, again, we are constantly bombarded with toxins throughout our lives, and this stuff is going to help kind of reduce those things for you. And so when we talk about all this testing that I've been talking about is with Max Metabolics. And we have this kit, it's called the Metabolomics kit. This gives you everything that you need inside of it. It's going to be a blood spot and a urine analysis. This allows us to see the deficiencies, your stress hormones, your toxicities, your omega levels, the precursors to different diseases, your inflammation markers, and amongst all kinds of other things. This system is the system that saved my mom's life. This system is the system that I got my mom back into healing. If you remember me talking about this in the beginning of this talk, she spent over $5,000 getting all kinds of different blood work and testing and found 0 answers, and basically they just sent her home. We're like, well, good luck with this. You could probably use some ointment or something, maybe a corticosteroid would help you, and that's just not the route that we wanted to take. And when we found this, we found that her inflammation levels were off, her digestive system was in total disbalance, her stress hormones were through the roof because of things that she's dealt with through her life. And just within 30 days of putting this system into practice, I got my mom back. And so that when we did this years ago, it was in March, on March 10th actually, we started this system. And this picture that's up here right now is from Easter of that year. And so it's within probably 4 to 6 weeks of starting that program. My mom got her energy back. My mom, the swelling on her face and the rash went away. Her digestive system started to heal like it was meant to. And essentially I got to have, still now she's in her 60s and she's doing triathlons with us. She goes hiking in Sedona with Dr. James and I. We have gone on different trips to Niagara Falls, and we went through the Appalachian Trail, and we've gone all over the United States. And she's been healthy and healing, and hasn't had problems since then. So it's an exciting thing for us, and it's why I'm passionate about doing this. You know, when I became a chiropractor, I didn't think that nutrition or advanced nutritional testing was going to be something in my wheelhouse, but it's something that I'm passionate about because it saved my mom's life, and I know that there's people out there with moms or with sisters or brothers or spouses that are dealing with health issues, and maybe it's you that's listening, dealing with health issues, and I don't want you to live that way for the rest of your life, carrying around a bag full of medications and feeling shackled to those things, thinking that you have to be on those for the rest of your life. We want to change that system, start helping you to implement your these 5 essentials to totally transform your life and give you a freedom when it comes to health. And so when we talk about this system, the suggested retail value is over $2,000 through Genova Diagnostics. With Max Living, we have come together with our network, and the cost for our Max Living patients, we've gotten it down to $749. But because we're doing this class and you're watching this and we're going to do a 5 Essentials consultation with you, we'd love to gift you a little bit more off than just the $750. We'll bring that total down to $636.65 with a savings of $112.35. And so the reason why I do this is because honestly, we use health to create miracle moments with our loved ones. If it wasn't for this testing, if it wasn't for this program, I don't know if I would still have a mom here earthside with me to experience life. And I don't know really where my health would be also. And I've seen dozens of patients have their lives transformed by going through this system. And so if you think that this is something that you want to get ordered or get the process going, when we do your 5 Essentials consultation, let us know and we'll get you set up with this kit and get moving in the right direction. Everything else that I talked about also today is going to be 15% off. So while we go through your 5 Essentials consultation, if you need to restock on your daily essentials, on your protein, on your greens, on the detox, either the cleanse or if you're ready to jump into the detox system, everything is going to be 15% off today when we go through your 5 Essentials consultation. Again, the vision for Max Living, for Judge Family Chiropractic as a whole, is for everyone to be empowered to live a healthy life naturally. We don't want synthetic drugs to be having to put into our system. We don't want to be shackled to medications for the rest of our lives. We want you to know that you can live a healthy life naturally, and you're the one that's in charge of that. So if you haven't yet, make sure that you turn in your 7-day food log. Make sure that you do your life risk questionnaire so we can see exactly where you are on your health journey, what type of risk level you are at, and where we need to go from there. I can't wait to sit down with you for your 5 Essentials consultation and help you get moving in the right directions. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.